since I just sent it out, forwarded it out today. We really hit this right in the nose with the great majority of the feedback we're getting from the townspeople in Waterford. So we did a real nice job. There'll be a couple things that we can add, and I think we can bring those to the meetings and say we want to add these items, and we can make those adjustments as we go. But the meat and potatoes of this is well done. Has everybody had a chance to read it? It sounds like Ed, you already did.
I did too. I thought it was pretty amazing. Good job, Eric. The only thing, can I just add one thing that I think is kind of important, and maybe I missed it. But the ferries to Long Island too is a huge thing, and Block Island and Fisher's Island, if you want to.
Yep. Yep. And that was in my notes as well, that we missed ferries. We also missed the dog park. There's a few things that are amenities that we'll want to talk about. I think those are things we can easily add. I think this isn't about format yet. This is about content. Abby and I met a couple weeks ago, and she was looking into format, which we'll jump into in a second. So we can add that to that, the ferries, in the work section, and then in the live section, we'll probably add dog park to it as well. But 99% of this is well done.
Great job.
Anything else besides ferries and dog park?
No,
Awesome.
It's pretty thorough.
Yeah, well done. So with that being said, boy, that's a fast agreement. Abby, do you have anything on the format that we talked about, so that we can move forward with this and give this?
So I think the about piece, we had talked about having sort of the text of the stuff right below, sort of a 4-box primary color, very bright, live, work, play, learn kind of format. So then you could click on each one of those and get directly into those amenities. And that's where all the links for the ferry page or the O'Neill or whatever else would come into play. So you would be kind of easily accessible. And then when you get to those pages, you can go back to any one of those live, work, play, learn boxes anytime. Over time, if the commission comes up with a branding slogan or a phrase or something that kind of summarizes Waterford in a few words, that could go above the live, work, play, learn piece and be something there. But yeah, it's a way to get us started and organize the about stuff without having it be this really long, hard to find kind of element. So
yeah, I think
we're working through the mechanics of our website a little bit. So Anna in my office is doing the background webpage design piece. So we had hoped to have something for this meeting. It'll probably be the next meeting before she has to call the company and just get a couple of permissions changed. But once we have that, she'll be able to reformat a little easier.
Great. So within that, everywhere that there is, it talks about another area of Waterford or an amenity, or she was talking about ferries. We'll make that a link, a hyperlink within the actual text, so that people can click on that right when they're there, and it'll take them and launch them right to that spot. So this about page will not just be something that they're just reading. It's also going to be very interactive for people using it, so that header page will actually connect people to where they want to go, instead of them having to kind of search it all out. So that's be the next piece. So you think, Abby, that we'll get some feedback from this company to give us administrative privileges in the next weeks?
Yeah, so I think by the next meeting, we'll be able to actually show you what the unpublished page looks like, get your okay on it, and publish once you give us the green light.
Great. I need to get this to Rob, or did you have it to Rob?
I've told him about it, but he's going to want to see that page too before it goes live.
Okay, but does he want to see the content first?
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah, I think we're waiting. He knows it's coming. He's waiting until this group finalizes what you want to show him, and and we'll go from there. Okay.
Eric, I would ask then, since we're gonna add those two things, could you add in the ferries that are easily accessible out of New London to the 3 different islands, Long Island, Block Island, Fisher's Island? Do we have any that they go to Martha's Vineyard out of New London, right? Or
I
is it
don't
meant-
think so. No.
just the 3 islands then? Long
Yeah,
Island,
you got
Block
Rhode
Island.
Island. You got to go out to Rhode Island for that.
And then the dog park would be the other one. Just add those 2 into it, and just send it back off again, and we'll have Rob peruse it when he's ready. That's excellent that we'll have this then ready to be approved in format for the next meeting. So as easy as that seems to be, I think we can jump then into the EDC page. Ed, I know that you and Greg talked a lot about wanting to have this same type of thing for the EDC page. So, you know, some of our homework then was to walk away and look at what are some of the things we want to put in for the EDC page. Because we can pound this off as well, you know, and get that approved for the next meeting, and it'll go in the same type of a similar type of format, so that we can really start getting some movement, some positive movement for us here.
I thought maybe a first action could be to take down the economic development video and then start working on a project to replace it.
Okay. Are you saying you want to take over the video?
I can work. I mean, if I can be given authority to work with people and figure out how we can get that implemented, you know, sure. I can't do it all by myself, though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just,
We're going to be in a very bad place if that's the case.
I'll be glad to assist.
there you go.
Yeah, I think taking a lot of the structure about what Eric wrote and then, you know, just compiling on top of that, right, and kind of having a tree of information, if you will, and resources like links, like Abby said, yeah, integrated into that, I think will give us a pretty comprehensive page.
I
think
think
it's a good place to start, and then we can always add, and you know, later.
so. If we're going to have an introduction of the EDC, you know, the splash page, probably that letter we created introducing ourselves is probably a good start for the
flashy way for it to fade in or whatever, and then have like a, you know, almost like, you know, I'm sure if we do a video, maybe we can get some drone footage. Not those are available, right? Compared to the last video, and we can maybe get a still shot of the town or whatever. I'm sure there's some stock stuff too we could even use, and then kind of build that in as the background and have some text in front of it and some links, and you know, just find a way to actually structure it and make it look nice and readable. Is going to be a
You know,
Well,
we had the
area
perfect
of focus.
opportunity to have the Mayflower come into Waterford last week. Could have had that in our video.
There's some really great, I saw some really great pictures on Facebook I can download that somebody took that was out in a boat following it. It was very cool. I got to find them, but.
Yeah, all we got to do is, you know, go up to the top of Quaker Hill, send up a drone, or go down to, you know, Waterford Beach area, send up a drone, and just get the right angle.
Yeah, and I've talked to the police chief there. There's the drone officers for the town are always looking for times to practice, and they've offered a few times to help us with this. So
hey, oh,
Maybe we can schedule a time with one of those officers. You know, I can get with them, and maybe we can just
That's awesome.
kind of shoot. You know what I mean? Something like that.
mm-hmm.
does Abby? Did we get business cards for Greg and Eric? I think Eric got it.
Let me check with let me go ahead and check with Anna and see if they've been printed yet.
That'll make
it
it
was kind of on a half schedule, so let me find out where that stands.
that'll make it easy to walk in the police station and introduce, and he can then schedule a time to kind of do that.
You need to do that pretty soon, because I think they're getting ready to go back up to Plymouth. They said when I went down there a few weeks ago down to see it at the pier, I was talking to the crew, and they said they were only here for 3 weeks to do trials out at sea. It would be coming back in. They're going to be going back to Plymouth pretty quick, because it was restored over at Mystic Seaport, and then they brought it over to the state pier for, I think they said 3 weeks.
You could always reach out to the Coast Guard Academy too and see when they're bringing the Eagle out again. I mean, that's more of a permanent picture.
That's kind of cool too. Yeah.
It kind of fits into our local atmosphere too, with the Coast Guard Academy and you know, universities or colleges that are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we did with the about page, the starting point, I think, for the EDC page needs to be kind of the about who we are. So if everybody's fine with starting with the welcome type letter of introductions of who we are and what we're about, I think that's probably a pretty good start for us to have there. We can fill in blanks below, but at least we should have something that says, you know, what the EDC is. So what I'll do is I'll send that back, that copy back out to everybody, just so you have it. And we should and can modify that into any other wording we'd like. But it's a good starting point. We already have that introduction kind of written. We might want to add and expand on what we already have. And at least that is the splash. Then if we add in the video of, you know, of drone footage and that kind of stuff around Waterford, you know, something sweeping along the beaches and that kind of stuff, those are fantastic, that we can add to it. But it's not going to be a one and done. It's going to be something that we continue to kind of allow evolution to take place for us to move forward. But at least we're moving forward.
Yeah, and you may want to think too about, do you want one long video like the old structure, or do you want a series of quick hit videos, because you're going to lose focus of your audience pretty fast?
I think that's a good point. I think that maybe we should have one overarching video, right? That's kind of cinematic. It might be kind of something I'm just thinking in my head here, and then you could have excerpts though, like where we focus on a particular industry in the town, whatever it might be, right? A specific example. Mm-hmm. And then those specific examples can only go on the website as kind of like archived stuff, mm-hmm. for people to kind of view through and see as case studies, because that would be really cool to have. But not only could we put it there, but that could also integrate into our social media platform, which is something we kind of, I think, touched on a little bit last meeting. So we can kind of recycle the content between and leave it there on the website, and then, you know, go distribute it through other means such as social media. So maybe a little bit of both, have one overriding kind of video, but then also have something, you know, little quicker hits, right?
Yeah, I think the quicker hits are important because people's attention span's pretty short these days. Plus, if we're going to cross promote it on the social media pages, the shorter the better, because they've got limitations on, you know, how long certain stuff, and same thing, people's attention spans are even shorter on social media. So
I feel like if you can do like a 3-minute video, and I'm sure the people that are going to enjoy it the most are probably the people that are already attached to Waterford, just like seeing you know what I mean? But
well, you're more likely to watch 4 3-minute videos that are labeled, you know, in something that you're interested in a row than you are to watch one.
I don't think we should do a documentary. You know,
so,
but I think maybe we should have an overriding synopsis video, kind of highlighting some things. And I don't know how you really put together, but, you know, maybe a more of an intermediate length, 10-minute range, not even so long. And then, you know, maybe in the future we can start getting, you know, 30-second, 1-minute little case study things in there too, or whatever it turns out to be. You know,
I think the first thing is getting getting contact with the police and finding out if they would be willing to do their drone practice and do some filming for us. We picked specific areas. We've kind of targeted some already, which I think would be a sweeping along the beaches, just kind of show the beaches. We wanted to show the pier. Is that what you had said, Greg?
The pier in New London?
I mean, no, I think the pier, it's really a state boat launch, so we should probably clarify. We've got our own small fishing pier platform at the Mago Park, and then we have the state boat launch where folks can jump onto the river, so we want to clarify that.
I think when we're looking at drone footage and maybe even stuff from ground level or whatever, it's going to be content. I think maybe we want to focus on specific areas of Waterford, right? Like Mago Point area, you know, Jordan Village and the Civic Triangle area. Just kind of show a little bit of diversity, industrial park stuff. I don't know, you know, how pretty that looks, but kind of just show a little bit of everything.
I think it's important for, you know, that's what we're looking to do.
We want to represent all the communities in Waterford.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
What are you on Millstone?
What about the Speed Bowl?
What are your thoughts on Millstone?
My thoughts personally on Millstone?
Yeah, I mean, have it included in the photos, or are you guys reluctant to do that? Or, I mean, it's a great place for working and jobs and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's an economic backbone for this town. I mean,
Right.
it has been for a long time, more so in the past, I guess, but
And
it
we can
is
talk to
part of the
Nancy at
town.
Millstone too, because she may have some video stuff and promotional things that they want, that kind of gives their message that they may want to have out there too. So we can probably work directly with them.
Yeah, and it's been a Waterford institution since I was a little kid, and I mean, so we certainly don't want to ignore it. At least I don't think we should.
Nope. I think we should also have Quaker Hill in there as well, and make sure that we capture, not only the the Civic Triangle in this area down here, but also not forget about our northern townies as well.
A lot of land up here.
Yeah. So
Um,
those are 5 great areas that we can start with. And I think if we take, to Eric's point, if we take shorter videos in some of these areas, we can then use that role to make a longer video to be the kind of the, what you were talking about, Greg. You can kind of string some of this together to make a broader vision, but at least you'd have something that says beaches and people could go to it and kind of see that. And if they're looking at fishing in Mango Park, that they see that hyperlink now takes them to some of those things that they can see, because we'll actually have it. But this is going to take time to get it all done. I think we have to start somewhere, right?
We need to get content first, I think, and
Yeah.
then start figuring out how it fits in. And it'd be nice to have a series of videos. But what are the focuses? Are we focused on different geographical areas of Waterford or industries, or what's the proper way to kind of segment it, right? The content. And,
Well, I think
I take thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we start with what we've already named in our about, and as we want to talk about business, we then have a whole segment that's just about business. But again, I think the idea is that we start with just picking a few right now, get those done, and then see if there's something that we can do with them once a month, that we're taking 4 or 5 once a month, if they're going out and testing it. Now we're adding 5 every single month, so that over a period of 6 months, now we have 30 videos and 40 videos. Maybe there's somebody else that are doing it too, so we can even pick up some more steam.
Yeah, we might want to stay, aware of events that are happening in the town, because it might show community. So we also might want to have some documentation of events.
Sure. Yeah. Once we get back to doing some of those.
Right.
So,
I know.
I agree. I think when we have events showing up and having someone from a meeting go out and taking some video so that we can add that to it, and then post it on social media pages as well, will help get there. All right, so we've got a good start then for the EDC page.
Amazing.
Anything else anybody wants to add to that?
I guess what should next steps be? Like, what should be our goal for next meeting? Like, what do we want to? Well,
our next meeting is that we're going to see the new format of the about page. I'm going to send out the introductory letter to everybody and say, hey, everybody take a peek at this, and tell me if we need to add more wording to this so that we can have our splash page have a heading to say the EDC, this is who we are. And you are getting a hold of, you and Ed, we're going to team up and get a hold of the police department and see if you could get their drone use to start on the first things we just named, which was beaches, Mango Point, Civic Triangle, Millstone, and Quaker Hill. I mean, you can pick 5 things you want. I mean,
I'm sure those guys, they drive around the town every day. They know the good, the nice looking spots too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that they do. But it almost doesn't matter where we start. It matters that we start.
We need a pool of content to start choosing from.
Yep, exactly. So as we come back to the next meeting, those things I think are things that we're bringing back. Eric's going to walk away knowing he's going to add 2 more things to this, so that to our about document, so we can present it to Rob, so he knows what we're working on, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled with what has we've come up with as a group, and we start, moving forward. The more content we get, the more we can stop being hypothetical about the social media page, because we actually can do things. As we come out of COVID and we start actually having events in Waterford, we will be able to start filming those things and being part of it, and we'll break those up. But I mean, that's kind of cart before the horse at this point. I hate to say, we want to try to, get those pages done, because no one's looking at them. Though, Abby, I was shocked at the amount of people that responded so quickly to that survey.
And it was within the first 2 days, and I don't think the folks that we had asked, because we had asked folks to do a second blast a week later, I don't think that came out, or at least I didn't see it on the pages. But yeah, when we get into the first selectmen, youth and family services, and police, those are the three big ones that have the most followers in town. And the library put something up too. So from a town government perspective, those are the groups that have the most presence. And then I think that we had I don't know if it showed up on what's happening in Waterford. It might have been there. I don't know if it was on what's really happening in Waterford or not. Because I don't actually have access to those. But those are really, that's especially this one, and when we did the first community survey, that's where we that's most responsive. So I think if we can tap into those pieces, and then honestly, it's having everybody get to their pages, to share it, to send it to people, and that's kind of how it grows. So I think when we have this kind of stuff, that's the next part of it, is if somebody likes the survey and anybody in Waterford then sees that helps.
Do you guys all have the link? Did you guys get the link?
I didn't.
I can resend it. I do have to jump off to get to the long range fiscal planning committee meeting that starts in about 3 minutes, but I can resend that tomorrow to everybody.
I'll send it out with the notes, so that they can get it all in one shot, the link. And you guys just send it out to whomever that you might get some more play off of it, that people can put it on their Facebook page or whatever, so that they can go to and fill out the survey. The more information, the better off we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, go to your meeting. Goodbye.
I'm gonna head out. I just sent an email to Chief Mahoney, just letting him know that folks may reach out about the drones. So he'll be expecting that as well.
Thanks, Ab.
Bye, Eric. One other thing, and you guys, your input on this. One other thing I was thinking about for that about page, the kayak regatta. I don't know if we can put that in there or promote it, but it's grown to be a pretty big event down on the Oswegatchie River.
He does have kayaking in there. We can probably add in, something that says the regatta.
Usually all the town officials are there from East Lyme, and the selectmen's there from East Lyme, and Dan was there every year.
Maybe you put a hyperlink there under kayaking that kind of then features the regatta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just added for that, Steph. Thanks for mentioning that. So we'll add a hyperlink for that once that gets to the format.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. I have still been talking with Nancy Kauser over at Sector, and they still are not doing any face-to-face meetings at this point. So we're going to continue to table the commercial realtors until we get a meeting that we can do face-to-face. And once we can do that, we'll invite them to come to Waterford Town Hall, and we'll schmooze up and try to repair whatever damage was happening in the past. But I think that with some of the work that we're starting to do now, they'll see a much more energized group that is obviously looking to resolve situations, not be the situation. So without getting into MTV, old TV shows. And that was all I had for an agenda. I really wanted to keep it short and sweet, and make sure that we were able to move forward. Anybody else want to talk about the EDC page and add anything else to that? I think we got a lot we're biting off, but I'm happy to add more if we want.
Yeah, it's good. And maybe you just want to think about tabs, but maybe that comes after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If we grab content, we then can add to the format. Once we just start seeing the format, we can start adding to it, because it'll make a little more sense. Right now, a little abstract.
Are we still thinking of reaching out to like Sonolist to actually produce this video once we have some footage? Because I know we talked about that at the high school, but I mean, I don't know, you know, what the deal is with that. So
Right. Those are the things I think.
So I think once we get content, once we get to the budgeting standpoint for the following year, we can throw some money into that, and be able to show the RTM and Rob that there's some value to this group. But I think we really need to show them some traction, that we're not a talk group, we're an action group. And I think the town would be happy to spend a couple more dollars. We trimmed a lot of money. I mean, you know, from a percentage standpoint, when we first came in, you know, we voted out a lot of money out of this committee that was just kind of sitting there doing nothing, because we weren't using it. So if we go back to them and say we want, you know, some bucks to be able to produce this, there's a why behind the what, and I think we would have no problem getting a couple dollars for it. So especially since we trimmed it back in order to go forward. So
I think if Rob signs off on it and I speak for it on the RTM floor, I think we'll be fine.
yeah, I agree. I don't find anybody in the RTM not wanting to help publicize Waterford better than, well, we're not really publicizing ourselves now.
Right.
So any
Just starting.
good thing. Okay. Anything else besides the SON list?
Yeah, I was going to ask something. I'm on the RTC, and they have reports from every single group every time we have a meeting, and nothing from us. So I don't know if you guys want to ever have us notify them about what exactly we are doing. We would have more respect with the RTC if they thought, you know, some things were going on, and we could refer them to them.
I'm sorry. What's the ask there?
What's that?
What was the ask? I didn't catch that.
I think that the RTC, they get reports from the Board of Finance and the Wetlands Commission. They get reports from everybody every month when we have the meeting. And it wouldn't be a bad idea if they got some report from us about, you know, what they could go and look at and what they could see, because that would, you know, there's a lot of people on the RTC that are very involved, and it would give you like a window to jump into to show people what's going on.
Sure. Who gives the reports?
Well, like on the Board of Finance, a member of the Board of Finance speaks. Kathleen McCarty says, what do we have from the Board of Finance, and what do we have from the Wetlands Commission? And they all have some kind of a report that happens on that meeting. So I always sit there and think, gee, if we had something to say from the EDC, that would be nice, you know?
Well, yeah, you could report back to your party what we do here, right?
Yeah, well, I would think, but we would want to, you know, have something prepared that, you know, not just my opinion or what I should tell them. I mean, if we had something that we produced for the meeting, and our report was that we're working on A, B, or C, or what we're doing, you know, it's a brief, yeah, I mean, it only takes like 2 minutes to tell them what you're doing. But
well, then you better give one to the DTC too.
Because they complain, you know, they used to complain all the time. They said the EDC hasn't met in 7 months, and they don't have enough members, and, you know, there was always a lot of derogatory discussion about it. But I think that we're not in that position anymore, you know.
Did you straighten them out, Ed?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to.
They're talking, they're making derogatory statements about us, and we're meeting every month. I mean, and
Well, I
actually, for once, seeing some progress here. Are you stepping up and sticking up for us? Is what I'm saying. You got our backs here, or what?
When Kevin got on, I told him that we got somebody that's dynamic and is, you know, excellent for this job, and that we're replacing the members that weren't doing anything. And, you know, so I mean, I've always said that, but that's not really specific to them about what we are accomplishing, you know.
I think it's reasonable. I'll check with Mark and Abby. The groups you were talking about were people that weren't volunteered. I don't know if the volunteer commissions go into that, but letting people know what we do, I think it is the right thing. I did stand up at an RTM meeting about 1.5 years ago, and kind of let a couple people have it because they were talking smack about us, and I was sitting in the room, and they had no idea that I was on the committee. So, you know, when I stood up and said, "Hey, I'm part of the EDC, feel free to ask me any question," it was crickets. So I guess there's a lot of tough guy talk when they don't know anybody's in the room. I don't know.
Right.
Mark, what's your thoughts on that? Do volunteer commissions report?
I'm not aware of us going to either RTC or DTC with any sort of reports. Certainly something we can look into. I'll talk to Abby about that. But Greg did bring up a good point. I mean, I don't think we should be focusing on one political party here if we're going to be, updating everybody. It's got to be equal across the board.
Yeah.
And it's really easy for us to do. I think a monthly update might be pretty thin, but we can, certainly keep a running tally on all the things that we're doing, which Abby and I are doing, so that when we get to the end of the year and we're talking about budgeting, we have kind of a journal to say, here's the things that we've done. So that is taking place.
Yeah, well, certainly updating the website, right, and keeping that active. That's going to be all full of information of things that you're working on too.
Put the meetings up there and just read the minutes in the meetings or whatever you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, and mend them a little bit. Anything else? Mark, how we doing on the projects?
See, we've got. If you've noticed that there's some development going on Crossroads, across from the theaters.
Yeah.
That's 114 Crossroad. That's it's an orthodontist building going up. That they're under construction now. They got approval from the commission. So now they're going gangbusters on that. They're doing a good job actually over there. There was an addition that was approved for 140 Crossroads. That's a surgery center, just a little bit farther up the road. They're expanding. They're adding another operating room and a couple more beds there, recovery areas. 5 Dayton Road is Hartford Healthcare. That's the Toys R Us building. The Toys R Us building came down, and they're building a 2-story, not hospital, but I believe there's going to be some urgent care there. There's going to be some physician services provided as well. But that's going.
Yeah, they're cooking right along all of those projects.
Right. And the last one is 446 Boston Post Road. That's the Henny Penny station across from the Oswegatchie Firehouse. That's going to be a tear down and a rebuild, larger store. A lot of actually, they're going to relocate that store a little farther back off the road. Essentially almost double the size of what's there.
Wow.
So that's also been approved. We're just waiting to come in for the permits.
Mark, the first 4 you mentioned, they're all medical of some capacity. Is there any taxable revenue on those, or just curious?
Yeah.
My own education.
Right. The only thing that I'm aware of that would be taxable on those would be personal property tax on the equipment that they would be using.
Not on the property itself.
Right. That's my understanding. That's what happened with the cancer center that went in off of Parkway South.
Yep.
I believe that it was all the taxes that we collected had to do with the equipment that was there. So
But not the brick and mortar or the lot of land itself or anything like that.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is that like a negotiated deal, or is that standard?
That's again, I don't know. There could have been a pilot negotiation, payment in lieu of. So, that's something that the assessor works with.
The assessor handles that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
How about
FabCon?
Yeah.
Okay, Fabcom, they just submitted their application Monday, and they are on receipt in front of the commission for the 24th. That's just for receipt. That's just to receive the application. No presentation at that time. And then the public hearing tentatively for September 14th on that. They're already in front of the Conservation Commission right now for review. So that's plugging along pretty quick.
And is it supposed to be a public hearing on the 14th, or is it going to be a Zoom hearing?
Well, it's maybe Zoom, but it's going to be a public hearing. We're not quite sure how we're going to be, the logistics of doing this, because we anticipate a big turnout, big response from the public on this one. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to be working it out.
And I think that we all should be on that to support that in any way we can. So you know, put in your calendars the 14th of September. And
who is this? What are they? I missed this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Fabcon is a manufacturing company that manufactures concrete wall systems for large, like big box buildings.
Gotcha.
And they're modular systems. They're designed and built unique to the project. So this is a national company. This is their first foray into the Northeast. They're in Kansas, they're in Pennsylvania.
This is
Indiana,
huge.
I believe, and Minnesota.
They've got the airport, Stephanie.
That's right.
They got the airport. It's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What time is that? What time is that meeting at? 5?
The meeting would start at 6:30.
6:30.
Yep. Still not sure, like I said, on logistics yet, whether they're going to be limited public physical participation or not. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out.
Well, we should all be there anyway. We'll have a meeting before that anyway, right, to discuss this further, Kevin? Our meeting will be scheduled before that.
The next meeting is September. What's the date? I haven't.
Well, that's what I was looking at. The 14th. The 14th is a Friday, so we would meet that Thursday, the 13th.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. 14th. Hold on a second.
Right? No, wait a minute. I'm in August. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, 14th is a Monday.
14th, yes. So we wouldn't meet
We're
until
gonna meet
that.
on the third Thursdays of the month, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you'd meet on the 17th would be the next one.
Yeah, so we wouldn't. Should we
You know,
hold a
as far,
special?
yeah, as far as a meeting goes for you guys, but certainly you can attend.
Yes.
Question.
Yeah.
On the EDC website that we're going to build, is it possible we can have like a portal for ourselves somewhere in there where we can look at all these upcoming things with these prospective people coming into town, right? So we can kind of track the hearings and things like of that nature that we can just go into and look up on the fly.
Well, you get them on the meeting minutes from Mark when you get the minutes.
Yeah,
back.
or I guess what I'm saying is if there's short of me saving everything and put it on my hard drive or whatever, and then remembering to go in and look and find the right things and then read all of them. You know what I mean? If there was a place where we could just kind of have like almost like a portal for ourselves or like almost like a Dropbox kind of.
Yeah, it would be easy to have a link to the meetings because they're already on the Waterford site. So all the meetings are on the site. They're just not easy to find. So for us to create that probably wouldn't be very difficult.
Right. I'm just saying have the filter for stuff that's applicable to us, basically.
Our meeting's on the 10th, right?
I think
In September, our meeting's on the 10th, Thursday the 10th.
Yeah, second
Thursday, second Thursday.
So their meeting comes after our meeting.
So, okay, so we could discuss this. Let's put in, let's table this for the next meeting.
certainly discuss it then.
I'll make sure I add it to the agenda, Stephanie.
Yep. And we'll have more information for you. Because like I said, the application was just submitted to us on Monday. There's aspects of this project that are going to third party for review, such as traffic and drainage and impacts to Jordan Brook. We'll be getting some more information on that. They're going to
Mark,
need to get a state permit.
What's the negative? What's the people that are going to oppose this? What is that? Is it environmental? Is it residential?
I think it's going to be traffic mostly. They end up transporting these panels on large flatbed trucks, about 2 panels at a time, looking at about 60 trips a day that are going to go by Atria and the Beechwood project there to head up to Crossroads to do that. There's also going to be impacts of the traffic, certainly, Crossroads and at those lights, the on ramps to 95. That's where they're
talking about oversized loads.
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
one merging onto I-95 right there.
Right.
You're going to need state approval for that, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the traffic study. They're going to need approval from the Office of the State Traffic
So
Administrator.
they're gonna come out on Fog Plain Road?
No.
They're gonna go out on Crossroads, right?
Right, they're going up on.
That frontage road there.
we had this.
Oh, Atrium, yeah. They're not even gonna see it. They don't even know what world they're in.
What about getting on that highway there?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, they're looking to gain access to 95. Your queue lengths on the Crossroad Bridge, you get a large 60-foot truck in there.
Yeah.
That's going to be taking up that queue lane, just one vehicle, pretty much almost. So, yeah, there's definitely.
You're gonna have to have their own in and out off of 95. You gotta figure that out. State's gonna have to get.
Even then, they're going to be merging on at 40 miles an hour.
So yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest impact. That's going to have to be addressed somehow.
We could get cursed by everybody in town that has to drive by Walmart, on the other side of the highway.
Sure.
Just saying.
Who is it that initiates that kind of a plan? The town or the developer?
No, well, the developer has to get approval from the state, so they're going to initiate the process that they need to do to get state approval from the traffic administration. Part of that, though, the state won't go very far until they go through the town process. Okay, so we're requiring on our end, details in this traffic report. We've seen a pretty, a preliminary report. We submitted comments to them that they needed to address, but even though they're working concurrently with the state office of the traffic administration, state office won't act on that permit with the state until they get approval from the town.
All right, well, Kevin, what I'm thinking is, we're doing a lot of stuff that's designed to groundswell the EDC and make us more effective and get out there. But these specific items, we ought to be all over this thing to be on record that we want to help and we want to, this is a great thing for us to help come to town. We don't want to lose focus. Our mission is to get people like this to come to town. And I think we ought to do everything we can to influence whoever we can to get it out of the town and before the state and whatever we need to do.
Well, I think that's what we're just talking about, is making sure that we're at the public hearing and can talk about the positives that can come out of this. Probably should ring McCarthy's bell and talk to her and because I'm sure that once that goes to the state, that she'll have a little more of a say, and maybe she can help us get over some of the hurdles that we haven't even seen yet. So I think those are our, definitely our battle cry right now. I think the first thing though is the hearing, because he's right. The state's not going to do anything until the town approves it. They're not going to put any effort or time into it. So
right. We need to get the town to approve it.
Yep. Well, the town wants to approve it. That's not. I know that Rob Rules is behind this 100%. He's championing this as much as there is. I don't know anybody in the town that's negative from a standpoint at town hall.
Town.
The residents are going to try to hijack this.
I don't mean town hall, but what happens is sometimes if you can if you can put some pressure against these things, you don't have a deal like that Cohansey meeting with all those people going crazy about development there. I mean, if we nip this in the bud and there's a lot of favorable opinions on it, that, you know, maybe we won't get a groundswell of people down there arguing about it, you know?
You want to make sure it's done right too. I mean, that's a nice piece of property, and you know, you don't want to have 12, you know, traffic fatalities a year there too. You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
You know, we want it to work the right way.
That's why all those traffic studies get done.
Yeah.
Right.
All righty.
Well, we're all in agreement that we want this project, and we want to try to do whatever we can to support it. I think the first thing will be that meeting, and we'll talk about that at our next meeting.
Good.
Anything else permitting, Mark? Anything else new coming in?
No, not unless you guys have any questions on anything. I'm pretty much.
How are we doing with the Chick-fil-A deal?
That would be, yeah, that, there was a positive reception with the commission in terms of removing the drive-through restriction in that zone. So what they are doing now is putting a package together for a regulation amendment and a concept plan to show how that drive-through would work.
Good. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so. They're going through with that.
Anything else for Mark? We got payment of bills.
No bills.
Yeah, not until we have to pay our next sector bill. Any correspondences?
No correspondences.
Any other business anybody wants to talk about? We got some stuff done this week. This is great. Eric, again, thank you very much for putting that together. It's fabulous. I'll shoot the email out tonight with the survey link and the EDC letter that we created some time ago, so we can come back and create a splash of what the EDC is. Ed and Greg, good luck getting a hold of the police chief and seeing what we can get for a little bit of content to start, and maybe there can be some type of monthly thing, and we can just hand it off to different members to go along, you know, with whoever's filming this, so that each month we're grabbing more and more content. So I think we've got a really good start going here. We good?
Yeah.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
There we go. Guys, have a great month, and
You too.
stay safe.
See you September.
See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.